usually when we're booked for shows, we usually try, and like we said, this is a hobby, we have a real job, so we try to be here at least one day ahead of time so that we can practice. And what we do is we usually go up in an area at a higher altitude, and basically we knock the raw stuff. We just go through our sequence. We select certain maneuvers that we practice. We're going to practice the formation aerobatics, which is what requires the most concentration of our air show. So we're going to practice the formation aerobatics at altitude just to get rid of the rust. And then, you know, usually most shows like this one today, they have a practice box on this was Monday, but normally it would be a Friday, and we can practice, you know, in the box at the proper altitude with the proper visual references and so on and so forth. So so that's pretty good. What we go through is, before each show, is we go through a briefing. We try to find an area where we have, you know, peace and quiet, and what we do is we look at our times and brief our formation. So we're going to go through, you know, the time schedule that we need, what time we need to be in the airplane, what time we need to be started. Then we're going to go through the wind effect. What will the wind do to us? Because the wind is always a big issue. The last thing you want is having an aerobatic airplane fly over the crowd, and being in a three-ship, it's even worse, because in a single-ship airplane you can maneuver rapidly and move away from the crowd. In a three-ship airplane, it's a little bit more difficult to maneuver the formation away from the crowd. So wind is a big issue, and then we basically run through our whole sequence, the aerobatic sequence, with the wind effect. And once we're done, we chair fly it. We go through every single maneuver, every single call, every single movement that we do. We chair fly this sequence completely. The whole process, the whole briefing takes what, 30-35 minutes to get accomplished, and then we just, you know, clear our minds, go in the airplane, and do our thing.
Cirrus Design's Vision SJ50 single-engine personal jet offers exceptional fuel efficiency, flexible seating for up to 7, advanced avionics, and all the Cirrus safety features you expect, including the Cirrus airframe parachute system. With its detailed design, the Cirrus Vision is technologically advanced, yet engineered to be simple to fly, to allow owner pilots more lifestyle pursuits than any other personal aircraft. Learn more about the Vision SJ50 at cirrusdesign.com.
It's very, I wouldn't use the word difficult, but it's very peculiar to fly an air show like we did today. First of all, it's hot, it's humid for the people on the ground, so it's even worse for us strapped on in the airplane. And the haze is really not helping us. Now, luckily today we had a horizon. However faint it was, we could actually see the difference between the water and the sky, which is basically a lifesaver. But it makes it very, very difficult. Now, hopefully tomorrow we're expecting better weather, and that's going to improve.
For us on the wing, Dan's leading, so most of the time he's, you know, we're as the wingman, we're just hanging on him. We look at him. We don't even look at the horizon. We're just we're actually trying to ignore the horizon and pretend like it's not there when we're on the wing. So Dan is my horizon. So I put total, complete trust in him, and I just blindly hang on his wing and ignore the rest of the world.
The wingman's responsibility is to make sure their airplane remains the proper color and not have shades of red attached to their wingtip. And my responsibility is to make sure that we stay away from the obstacle, which is Earth, and you know, meet all the limitations of the air show box and this and that. But trust is the best, I mean, is the one ingredient that you need the most. I mean, I have blind faith in these two guys. I'm doing an aerobatic maneuver, and I have one guy that is 3 or 4 feet away on either side, and I am not looking at him because I know he will stay where he needs to be, and he knows that I'm not going to bring him or put him in a position which would you know, be dangerous. But it's a I don't want to say it's a dangerous game. It's not without its risks. But every risk can be managed, and as aviation professional, we learn to manage risks from a young age, and this is something that can easily be managed, and we do it, and we do it successfully.
You've heard of this thing called WAAS, right? The Wide Area Augmentation System lets you fly GPS glide path approaches without relying on ground-based landing aids. No VOR, no ILS, no problem. Fact is, WAAS is so smart, it even knows what you're going to say next time you need it. And don't have it on board. Wah! I want my WAAS now! I was really crying there for a second.
We lost great performers last year. It was a very bad year for the industry. It makes you think, but it makes you look back and it makes you reanalyze and redo your sequence and reorganize your act, you know, based on your performance and your ability and your limitations. And one of the limitations that we have, like I said, is distance. So one of the things that we did is we had to design an airshow sequence that was very simple and something that we could do very simply and not have any tricky stuff in there and stuff like this. So to keep it simple so that we can increase the level of safety and you know, play within, not play but act within within our abilities and our own limitation. And I think that's very important, to remain within your limitations. My air shows as a kid and how often I went woo and wow, and I mean it drove me to the recruiting center so I can fly for the Air Force. So I mean I think yeah, the iPod and the video games era is upon us and there's nothing we can do about it, but I think that there is still a need for the air shows, and you know, the industry is cyclic. We're a little bit of a slump, but we're going to go to the other side, and you know, I think it's going to be good for everybody.
I don't think the basic tenets, the basic ideas of an air show have changed since the 1920s and 30s. The maneuvers aren't much different. The airplanes aren't a whole lot different. They got a lot more capabilities. But the main thing that the whole air show is to entertain that crowd down there and show them what an airplane can do and have them go ooh and ah. And that hasn't changed in 60, 70 years. I mean, that's basically what it's all about. So you talked about the iPod world or this modern technology and the world moves on, but it's still that little kid looking down at that airplane going, wow. That's what it's all about.